Now, the 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
On 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it. Oh, let's all dance. It's time. 10-minute drill, sports concepts and rationalizations coming your way.
Would you like to rock right now?
I do want to rock right now, and I also want to give something away right now, but it'll be a few minutes.
Yeah.
And at the end of the segment, what were we giving away today, Beaver?
At the end of the segment, stay tuned. One lucky Guggen's going to win lunch for two at Sonny's Barbecue, and for their next trip out of the First Coast, they'll park on us at usapark.net.
Fantastic. Lauren Rue is here today. Lauren, I'll ask you a question right off the rip. How did you well, first off, how is your bracket?
You know what?
Who are your final four?
I didn't fill one out this year.
You didn't even do one.
I was on vacation the week that, this was the first year.
All right, well, who would you have picked?
That I abstained from that. Well, Gonzaga to me is always a lock every single year.
All right.
Texas Tech, Chris Beard is done some incredible things.
Yeah.
And especially in the short amount of time. I like the Red Raiders.
He beat my Gators last year.
For sure.
I wasn't happy about that.
Virginia, even though there was a close one last night with Oregon. So I didn't expect a whole lot of upsets.
Yeah.
And there hadn't really been any.
There haven't been many.
Close to chalk gets you most of your teams in.
Yes, close to chalk, and you're smiling and in good shape, and that's.
I didn't, however, not to interrupt you.
Yes.
Tennessee.
Yes.
Rick Barnes.
Yes.
I would think smart enough not to fall for the Rick Barnes and take them past the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
He just doesn't. I mean, he took Texas to the Elite Eight twice. Was there for 15, 16 seasons. But
right.
That was the height of it. So
yeah,
we could have used you like a week ago.
Yeah,
you should have called me. I'm right down the hall.
Tennessee, by the way, was down 18 to Purdue and stormed back took the lead. And to Purdue's credit, you have to give them credit. They were able to right the ship and then win in overtime. It was and Tennessee. Kind of got hosed. I mean, they're up 3. That was a tough foul to call. Leg kicks out. He kind of feigns. That's a tough one, man. So the kid goes to the free throw line. He's an 85% free throw shooter, and you could tell that the kid was not overtaken by the moment. Like earlier in the tourney, New Mexico State and Auburn were playing, and the New Mexico State kid got fouled, and I was like, oh, this guy ain't making these. And he missed 2 of them. Mm-hmm. So this kid's 85% free throw shooter. He scored. He's the first player in March Madness since a guy named Curry to score at least 25 points in 4 straight games. So he's a baller. And he goes up there and he shoots it. And he knows it's in, and it rolls around and pops out. And I go, oh, my gosh. So he makes the next 2, so they're tied. They go to overtime. Purdue wins. But that was a tough call on the Vols, and I'm sure – and I saw mixed opinion on it on Twitter – but that was, to me, the best game that I've watched thus far.
It was really good. And Klein for Purdue, 27 points. I think 22, came in the second half.
Yes. 7 of 10 from behind the arc.
Unbelievable.
Here's what, you didn't probably know this, Lauren Rue, but Super Sunday, Purdue was playing a game. I didn't know a thing about him, but I made a prop bet on Klein's threes versus something, some kicker's points or something. And he won for me.
Nice.
So I've always liked the kid.
Yes.
But anyway, he's got a funky over-the-head shooting motion. But he wasn't catching and shooting, gang. You watch that game. Those weren't catch and shoot threes. All right, he was creating threes.
Yeah.
He hit a step back late that was like money. And I mean, the twine wasn't even moving when that ball went through the net. So it was good.
I saw people with a updated NBA draft status. Klein won, now Zion too. That was pretty funny.
What else is going on? What else do you want to yap about?
Okay, so is this the 10-minute drill? Was that the
This is.
question?
That was
the question was, did I fill out a bracket?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, who was your final four?
I got one for
It's
you.
always hard-hitting stuff.
Yeah.
It is, I love it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, here's one I have for you.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a proposition for you, Dan Hicken.
Okay, all right.
If I can guarantee you that your 1-0 New York Mets will win the World Series.
I'm in. Take it.
And here's the stipulation.
Oh, no. Why does there always have to be a but?
They win the World Series. It's a guarantee, but you can't watch one game this season. Would you sacrifice being able to watch your team all season knowing
Tearing up.
that they win the World Series?
Tearing up with that question.
But you can't watch it.
But you can't watch any of it.
No.
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 Where's the joy?
No. No.
It's a guarantee. You could celebrate after the fact. You
what
you
am I
could wear the
celebrating?
shirt.
Right.
You could
No.
wear the hat. No.
The pain of being a Mets fan is far greater than winning the World Series, I'm afraid.
The joy of winning at baseball is going for the ride.
The ride started yesterday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when Danny left here and quickly went and did some errands and got to the gym and you probably didn't know I'm physically fit and immediately got home right at 12:57 and told Beef I'm sitting down getting ready.
I talked to Danny in the car on the way home at like 12:50. He was like,
I'm geeked up.
like
I'm ready.
jazzed,
and
man.
then
He's ready to go.
then in about the third inning, by the way, when DeGrom puts runners on first and third with nobody out, I sit there to the realization of I can't do this all year. This is too hard.
Yeah.
And he wiggles out off the hook because we have a professional hitter, Robbie Cano. By the way, Beef, just for the record, and Lauren Rue, who told you that Robbie Cano is going to have a big opening day?
you did call that one.
Thank you very much. And a professional hitter for the New York Metropolitans. No, I couldn't. It's sad. I love them for the win the World Series. It's a good question, but it's a little bit painful.
All right, follow up, Dan Hicken.
Yes.
Same question, but for your
You have to understand, I took out a
Knicks.
second mortgage to go to the World Series
No,
to
I
take
know.
my sons.
Listen, it wasn't supposed to be an easy question. You
No, it
answered
wasn't.
it.
It was not an easy question.
Same question for your Knicks.
No.
Okay.
No. The sports fan in me, no. I've listen. I have my New York Knicks buddy who will be at Dan Hicken's NFL or NBA draft lottery party.
I've heard about this.
Yes, you're more than invited, by the way.
Well, I think that was kind of a pity invite, but thanks.
No, everyone's invited. Everyone's
Oh,
invited.
and everyone's
the station's
invited.
No, you're invited. What are you Oklahoma City fan?
Yes.
Okay, well, you're not in the lottery, but as long as you try to you wear some NBA gear
Okay,
and
then I'm in?
you come
All
by,
right.
there'll be punch and pie and burgers. Is that correct, Beef? Is that
So
what's
far,
on the
that's
menu?
the lineup. That's the menu.
Punch,
All right.
pie, and burgers.
Yeah.
But anyway,
The essentials.
we once watched Grandmama Larry Johnson hit a stroke a three and get fouled in the NBA playoffs against the Indiana Pacers and rolled around on the floor like little children. That's the beauty of sport, especially when you're a fan and you're not able to do such feats of athleticism.
All right, fair
Right?
enough.
So
Yep.
that's my thought process on this. Hey, last night, Giannis Antetokounmpo hurt his ankle. Went
Again.
down with an injury. It's a quote. They call it when the headline says troublesome right ankle. That makes you take pause. This is they cannot win without Giannis Antetokounmpo. Does this? Listen, I don't know if you were thinking about the Milwaukee Bucks. I sort of want to root for the Milwaukee Bucks because I like when the Milwaukee Bucks may be the most nondescript franchise in the NBA. Nobody knows, cares. They never do anything. They won a world championship once when they had a guy named Lou Alcindor and Oscar Robertson. That's how long it's been since the Milwaukee Bucks. They had a little bit of relevance for a short period of time with Sidney Moncrief, and they played on the Mecca, which was a cool-looking floor when I was a kid. But anyway, I guess my question is, where are you with the Milwaukee Bucks? And obviously, Antetokounmpo's ankle's not right. You take him off any hope of doing anything in the postseason.
Yeah, it's always interesting in the East, isn't it? That now that LeBron is decided to sacrifice himself, I guess, out in LA, that it kind of brings things up for anybody to take in that conference. And Giannis, without Giannis, I mean that's the reality of the NBA. One player makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. So they may be in trouble. I did see the replay of the injury. I didn't actually see the replay of the injury, but I saw him kind of go to the ground. And this kid, probably 10 years old, got courtside seats. How that happens, I'm not sure. But under the basket, and he stands up and he points at him like, oh no, like he knew something. He pointed right at Giannis. But
the ankle, Daddy, not the ankle.
Sounds like me when Rose went down in the 11 playoffs.
Oh, yeah, you were beside
Stood
yourself.
up and openly wept.
did Rose ever get back up though?
Not really.
No,
Not really.
no.
Maybe for a game or two here. Had a wonderful Knicks career.
Just wants to make sure he could stand up at PJ's graduation.
Yeah. I'd like you to ask me one more question
Okay.
if you have one, Lauren Rue, but if you make me think as hard as the last one, I'm going to I may have to get up and leave.
He's not used to emotional questions.
I'm not used to emotions this early in the morning.
All right, well, I'll check the one off the list.
I'm more used to somebody yelling at me.
I'll check the one off the list that
of your 3 children.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Of your 3 children, who's your favorite? I won't ask that because I already know which one it is. All right. Opening day was yesterday in Major League Baseball.
Yes, I love it.
If you could be any player from the past or present, who would it be?
Well, this is also an emotional moment for me, but my all-time hero is George Thomas Seaver of the New York Metropolitans, who recently was diagnosed with dementia, which made me sad. He's retired from public life now. He's got a lovely wife, Nancy. You may not know this, but Tom Seaver, I believe, married his wife here in Jacksonville, FLA.
Wow.
He pitched a short time for the Jacksonville Suns, and in the 60s. And I believe he and his then girlfriend, Nancy, made it official, and he got married. I'm pretty sure here. I've read that before. I've never seen the actual proof, but so I tell that tale, whether it's true or not. But he brought me much joy when I was a young man, and I always wanted to be like him. So nobody had the pitching power. And what I always noticed about George Thomas Seaver is he drove his right knee into the ground when he pitched. I will tell you this. This is how sick of a Mets fan I am. 2 nights ago, I watched the 1983 opener again with Seaver pitching for the Mets as he beat Steve Carlton and the Phillies 2-0.
Did you have that on like videotape?
No, I saw it on went down the YouTube wormhole, so to speak, and I ran into it and I said, "Oh look, they have it." It's great memories when you go back and look at some of the guys that you watched when you were younger. I, of course, by the way, 1983 when that actually occurred, was still 20 years young. 20. It wasn't like I was 8. You got to go back to the early 70s for this guy. So, but yeah, that was good. I like that, and that was my guy. Do you have a favorite all-time athlete? Who's your favorite? Do you have one?
Bo Jackson.
Bo
Jackson is my favorite all-time athlete.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that one.
I was on a flight one time with Bo Jackson, and we were coming back from Italy. We were flying from Rome to Chicago, and he was in first class, and I'm walking to not first class, past first class, and I looked to my left, and I was like, you know, when you see somebody, and for the moment you're like, that's a somebody,
yes.
that's a guy,
yes.
And I turned to Daniel when we got to our seat. I said, I think that's Bo Jackson up in first class.
Oh.
So I stood back up and I peeked around, and sure, it absolutely was. And then we were in baggage claim together. It was one of those, like, I really wanted to go say something, but I didn't. So I just snapped a creepy picture and tweeted out, Bo knows baggage claim.
Very nice. I have a Vincent Bo Jackson story for you real quick. Not as nice, not bad, but when he was a member of the Kansas City Royals, if I'm not mistaken, Beef, you might want to check this. Where did the Royals used to have spring training? Weren't they at that? Remember that boardwalk and baseball place? It was like Haines City. They built this. It was going to be like an amusement park, but it was baseball themed. It was very cool.
And which city was it in?
Haines City, I think. And so, but when I was working years ago, when Bo Jackson was playing baseball, we went to spring training. I don't know. I don't remember why. Whatever I was there for. But I remember. I think I even did a story on boardwalk and baseball. But anyway, so we went to spring training, and
you're talking about Baseball City Stadium.
Yeah, but see if there was a place called Boardwalk and Baseball, and see if the Royals trained in Haines City. Yes,
well, Boardwalk and Baseball theme park.
Yes,
was a financial disaster. Baseball City Stadium is where the Royals trained from '87 to '02
in Haines City.
Yes.
Yeah. So see,
now they call it Davenport.
Okay,
but right.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm not crazy, which is also good to figure out. But secondly,
at least not about this.
There's Bo Jackson. So and it's time. We're all getting interviews and such. So. I'm not afraid. I'm going to get an interview with Vincent Bo Jackson. Hey, Bo, can we talk? And he had I always remember he had his bat on his head. And he was walking with his big, gigantic arms. And he just said, "Excuse me," and walked right past me and neglected to do the interview with little Slappy from Jacksonville.
That's why the local guy, right? Aren't you the local guy from
Jacksonville? Yeah. No, I'm not talking to you, pal. Get out of here.
That's why I didn't go over to him, because there's that fear, right? If you ever go to someone, and I didn't idolize Bo Jackson, but man, he was so impressive. And in terms of overall athlete, I think he is top of the list. There was this fear in me, though, that if I walk over there and say anything to me and he's a real jerk, all of that is squandered and I'm kind of over him. So
that wouldn't be cool.
Definitely not.
All right, that's good. That's let's do caller number 1 because the Mets are 1-0. First guy in 6-4-1.
Making them work today.
Yeah. It's beef.
Fastest finger.
It's Friday, you know. We got to be honest. There's a little bit of mailing in here going on, right? So here's what?
Yeah. So
what are
they're
they
gonna
getting?
Get lunch for 2.
Okay.
At Sonny's, because
All
they
right.
start your weekend.
All right.
And if they're going out of Jacksonville now or whenever they do, they'll park on us at usapark.net out by the airport.